please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Then, SBI, ICICI, Axis, the corporate lenders who are, and maybe BOB as well, who are normally picked out as the guys who have been able to overcome their problems. You think there's more to go here? You think the tide is clearly turned?
I don't know about clearly, but from a near-term point of view, I think they have some momentum. I mean, you saw the reaction after the ICICI profit loss announcement, and the stock bounced back very smartly. Axis Bank hasn't gone down after the results. And I think there's a general expectation that SBI, after looking at BOB numbers, will be better this time round. You know, SBI is such a swing factor in the Nifty results for 2019, and that such a lot hinges on the composite Nifty profit because of SBI. I think that might be a mood changer for the market, depending on which way it turns out this quarter. So keeping fingers crossed on State Bank. You know my views on public sector banks. So I'm not in the camp which believes that a new dawn has arrived and there is a great long-term bull story in public sector banking. Perhaps not, but in the near term, will they bounce on expectations that the worst has been disclosed already? And at least for 2-3 quarters, the numbers might be on the mend. That's entirely possible.
Well, at least they've given us some more legs to speak of as far as the market rally goes, Udayan. Speaking of which, your thoughts maybe on a stock like ITC, which finally seems to have broken out after a while. Numbers seem to be okay. But any thoughts on the other pockets of the market when we're talking about broadening of the leadership in this leg of the rally?
Well, ITC has played catch-up, and it had to, given that it was trading at very low valuations compared to the rest of the sector. The trigger was that after 3 quarters, you saw some volume growth out here. Small volume growth, but it did take more than 9 months for ITC to come out with some volume growth in tobacco. You know, I think ITC is a valuation catch-up story more than any kind of a secular consumption growth story. If you want to play consumers, I mean, there are many stocks, some of which you mentioned this morning as well. I know valuations might be elevated in some of them, but if you look at numbers even this quarter in names like Bata, Havers, Titan, etc., you know, there are many good consumer or consumption theme stories which are playing out between 40 and 50 PE. So ITC will rally a little bit more, maybe get close to or bridge the valuation gap between some of the expensive consumer plays and itself, and then I think it will stop. Because tobacco per se, which is where ITC's valuation comes from, is not as clean a consumption story as some of the others that you can find. So essentially what is going on here is basically low valuations playing catch up. Once that is done, I think you're better off shifting out of ITC into some of the other even more expensive consumption plays.
Okay. Well, those are visuals we are getting from the HDFC AMC listing. Then you can't see them, but all the biggies from HDFC are there. There's Deepak Parekh, Renu Karnad. Uday Kotak is there as the lead manager of the company. So that's all of them. Udayan, actually on that point, I wanted to ask you about the Uday Kotak preference share issue. I mean, it was a master stroke in terms of, you know, managing to reach the given target of 20%. But will it wash with the Reserve Bank?
We'll have to see, but it's a very, as you say, it's a very, very smart move, and trust Uday Kotak to do something like that. I mean, the headlines read one way, but when you looked at the fine print, it read quite another way. So I'm also marveling at how he's done it. I don't know, Uday Kotak is somebody who the Reserve Bank, I suspect, likes a bit because, you know, he's sort of one of the later bank licenses which have never put a foot wrong. And in a sense, he exemplifies the kind of person RBI wants to give out banking licenses to. So I think because he's such a poster boy of the new age banking license, I don't know, I mean, whether the Reserve Bank will let it pass or not, but it's an interesting maneuver for sure, the way he's choosing to bring down his stake in the bank.